Oh, Kay, I'm so excited that we get to have this time together. Y'all, Kay and I got to have her own mini messaging session, and it was absolutely incredible. So I wanted to do this really quick, like little interview just to hear about your experience and to have you share, what kind of has transpired after the experience and all the things. So first and foremost, I want to start by just asking you, why did you decide that, messaging work was something that you just wanted some support on?
Yeah, so I sell a luxury item. I sell live wedding painting, which is both a service, but it's also definitely a luxury item. And I was increasing my prices to a point that I felt was actually what they were worth.
Yeah.
But I was having a hard time because a lot of, moments in that industry are just like, oh, we're on a budget. What is it? What's the cost? And then a lot of people just like hear it and they leave. So I was trying to figure out, how do I position this service and this item in a way that also matches the higher price point of it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I really needed some help understanding that.
Yeah. And so what kind of got you into this space? Like, and I want Kiera to help me do it in this mini messaging session. Why me?
Yes, I kind of just posted something on Facebook in the group and was just like, I need help. And then I think what happened is you messaged me on Facebook, and we just got to talking about my situation. You told me a little bit about who you are and what you come, like the background you have, and then your mission. And then it just felt really, really good. I felt like, yeah, this is an investment that's worth making. I think it just like, it was kind of a no-brainer, because I know free advice is like one thing, but having someone actually like that you hire and invest in is definitely another.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. I think a couple people had tagged me. And so cuz sometimes I forget, I don't see the stuff on Facebook. But I'm always grateful, for that. So I'm glad that we connected. And so you
Yeah.
said a couple things. So first and foremost, you being in this space, wanting to get support in this area. One thing that I really love that you said is like, I sell a luxury item. And so one of the things I remember us really distinctly working on was, and I remember saying this to you actually in Messenger, and this is something from oh my gosh, maybe 10, 11, 12 years ago. I had a mentor in sales because my corporate background is in sales, kind of mentioned this. And it was like, we don't sell on price. We never sell on price. And so it was just, embedded in me. And I just feel like naturally, and I'm talking like years ago, right? When I was in corporate in sales, and that just kind of stuck with me. And I'm so grateful for that, because I even feel like when I just go back to the core of who I am, it's always been this, like, my uncle used to call me nosy and like, you ask so many questions. And I was like 7. I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. It's really bad. But now that I look back, it's like with messaging, it's like, no, it's so much deeper. Me and in my messaging style, it's really about getting intimate with the client and being able to step into this space where you are able to go beyond price. Like, it's nothing to do with price. It's about the experience. It's about the transformation. It's about who you get to become. It's about what this does for you. And I remember distinctly, like with us working on your messaging map and everything, like us talking about that. And it's so funny because when people hear the mini messaging session, they're like, there's no way we're going to sit down for that short amount of time and get that much in. Like, I can't believe it. But I want to ask you, like, how did you feel after your mini messaging session? Because we dived into some sales stuff, we dived into some messaging stuff, which obviously translates into content. And I think we might have touched on like a little bit of your packaging, but we really focused on the sales and the messaging part, because like people forget that with sales, it all boils down to messaging. Sales is messaging. And so that's a whole nother story. But how did you feel with your experience in your mini messaging session and after?
Yeah. So one of the best parts of it was like, you gave me a place to just do a full brain dump. So that was really great. I want to point out too, I was on this track and then you affirmed it. Like, when I looked at my past clients who had been able to pay what I was asking, it wasn't just about rich people. It wasn't about just like, a lot of times when I'm like, I need to sell this higher price point item, someone will be like, well, you just have to find the really rich people. And I always go back to like that ideal client I had who was just like, very much not rich, and I'm not like using that as a judgment, but what I'm saying is that she prioritized it and she valued it. And I'm so grateful to experiencing that with her, because it always brought it back to me that it's not about price. So that's what you were just saying. Like, we don't sell on that number. Like, we sell on the value of the thing and why it's important. So
Yeah.
you definitely like helped reaffirm that for me. But you helped, like, so I had like an inkling of a thought that was happening, and then you helped me really understand it.
And how to
So that
speak
was
to
great.
it. Because we
What's
can,
that?
and how to speak to it. Because it's like, oh, I know that I can sell beyond price, but then how do I, with my work? And that's really cool, because at this point, I've done hundreds of my messaging intensives and all that. And so it's really cool, like all different industries. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
about the industry. It's like being able to help you pinpoint your most powerful and valuable parts and pull it out. So it's like, I know that I have a think I think I need to do this, but like on paper, how am I actually like, let me see it. Like, how do I put it together? And it's not like it doesn't exist. It's just like, let me help you extract those things out. And then I'll just help you see how to organize them and let them flow. So like,
yeah.
that was huge. I
That
could,
was huge. Yep. And you really helped me start thinking about my clients in a much like bigger, broader perspective, where I had just been kind of like, well, they want to have a good wedding. You were like, well, there's probably a lot of other things going on for them in that moment as well, you know? And I was like, oh yeah. And then all of a sudden I had this much bigger picture about who my clients were and what they were experiencing in their life.
yeah,
Um, and you pointed out the importance of, like, how do you talk to them in that experience so they know you're talking to them and that you see them.
yeah,
That was really, really valuable. And yeah, it just gave me such a good indicator of what to speak to. Oh, the biggest thing too, I think, is that we went really deep on it. Like, we really boiled and distilled down what was the most important aspect of my service
yep,
for the people who might purchase it.
yep,
And doing that was so valuable, because now I really know what I'm selling. Like, now I really know like the huge impact and transformation that I'm selling, as opposed to just like these cute, fun little bullet list items, right? Like, it's a big difference. And then I will tell you, like, almost immediately after we had our conversation, I will say during the session with you, it was amazing. You were like really very quick and very focused. And I was like kind of like watching someone just like, I don't know, do their
Kira, how did
magic.
you just do that? I don't even like in this time, like, yeah.
It's pretty great. It was pretty fun. And I definitely came to it with a total learner's mindset, where I was like, yup, like, here we go. Let's hear what you got. And so it was great to be able to sit back and watch you do it. Obviously with my interaction or input. But then afterwards, I had a sales call a couple days later, and it's like that client literally matched up perfectly with everything you and I had talked about. And it was incredible, because she created a space for me to also go deep with her on that messaging, and she was like already there. So I kind of realized too, like, they are having that experience, and then if you're able to pinpoint it, you can talk to them about it, and
Yeah,
then they really know that they are seen and in the right place. So that was, I mean, it was just really reaffirming and super cool.
yeah,
Yeah. And then one more thing too that I've noticed that's a big change. A lot of my job is to network with other industry professionals. And so many of them, will ask me about it, and they're like, I just think that's really cool, and they're keeping it super surface, because that's totally understandable. It's not their area of expertise. But after our messaging, I was able to really pinpoint the story and like the moment that's so important. And now I communicate it to every single one of those people, because then they can spread that out. You know what I mean? Like, now when they talk to their brides or their customers about weddings, they're not just like, oh yeah, live wedding painting is so neat. They're like, oh yeah, and I was talking to her about this moment that they experienced.
yeah.
So it's been just overall very beneficial.
Oh my goodness, all
Yeah.
the things you said, but we'll sum up. There was a couple of things I want to comment on. So first and foremost, you talked about the client intimacy. So for anybody watching, that's what it's called. But basically the way you explained it was like helping you see a deeper, broader, bigger picture of your client. And like I talk about like mediocre surface level messaging, and it's like, oh, my client just wants to like have a good wedding or like lose weight or like make money. And it's like, but everybody and their mama says that. How does that differentiate you? And your client doesn't want to be sold to, they want to buy. So
Yeah.
instead, how about we create this deeper next level messaging that literally gets them to sell themselves into the thing, like where their emotions are attached to it. And so being able to take clients through that client embodiment and client intimacy messaging method is just so beautiful, because it's like, I have a client right now, she's been in the game 20 years. And it's so cool to, just kind of watch her get to know her client. And she's like, I've been working with these people for 20 years, but did I just start with these people? Like, because like, how did I not know these things? But it's so beautiful, because as leaders, as women, as beings, we are expanding and evolving every day, and our clients are too. And so the messaging from year one isn't the same as messaging at year 2, 3, 5, 10. And allowing yourself to let that pivot and like shift and evolve and expand, it's so beautiful. And you can always get to know your client like even deeper. So I love that you point out that. And because of that, you said something that is like magical. And this is something that I know so deeply with myself, with every client that I work with. We care so deeply about our connection. We're like, I don't just want any client. I don't just want any money. I don't just want any business. I want aligned clients, aligned money, aligned business. I want to do work that feels in alignment. And so being in this space where like that connection is created is beautiful. And what you said specifically was your clients feel seen.
Yeah.
And that's a big game changer when it comes to sales. Is this person is like going to sell me their package and like, let me have my guard up immediately. Let me say no immediately. It's like when you walk through the mall and the person's like, try this, try, no. The guard's up immediately. But instead, hey, let me listen to you. Let me hear you. What's going on? What are you experiencing? Oh, that's kind of like my clients who experience that. Like you being able to humanize sales and bring messaging in that literally is just like talking to them, like, how the heck did Kay know that? I just said that to my husband or my friend the other day. How did she know? So that connection and our clients being seen. And we just live in a world where, for me, too many of us are unseen, are unheard, and it is causing so much chaos. And there is the most beautiful gift I feel we can give people, whether you become my client or not, is how can I just show you that you're seen? Like I have a girl, she just messaged me right before we got on. And, she's like, talking to me like, okay, I already know I want to hire you, but I know that I want to hire you for the fall. And so we're kind of like talking about it. And like, there's nothing in me that's like, oh, well, don't talk to me till the fall. Like there's nothing, no. Okay, hey, I hear you making that decision. I hear what you're saying about X, Y, and Z. And I'm so excited for you for this, this, and this. And I feel like it's always, I have clients who do that. And then she's like, oh, well, can you still send me the link though now for blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. Like, it's literally the moment of like, I just see you and I'm not here to push you into anything. And then you end up saying, I changed my mind. Like, send me the thing or whatever it is. So
totally.
it's just so beautiful. And we can't not acknowledge the win that you had like right after the session. That's my favorite. It's like these sessions, even though they're short, it's like, listen, go take one thing and go apply it. I probably like go apply it. And so the fact that you did that, you were able to apply it. And I can remember seeing the message as, and I remember you saying something like, I never felt more powerful in selling, like in sales. And it's really just like, that's what power message is. That's why messaging sales are connected to me. Like it's you just being so powerful in your message, in the value that you deliver, and holding space and seeing that client and letting them go through the flow to make the decision for them in an empowered way. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
so easy.
And that's exactly it. That's totally it. Like if I truly believe that the purchase of this will be a huge benefit for them, like, and have a huge impact on them, but I'm not here to try to force it on them, like I'm not, it's exactly what you said. So I like to provide that opportunity for them to see what it's going to do for them. Yep. And then, and we came up with the line of like, this is a treasure for you. Like, this is a gift to yourself. Yeah. And literally, Kira, like I've been able to put that in all of my marketing, like I do, live wedding vendor events and stuff where a ton of couples come in. And I literally had someone email me like 2 weeks ago that was just like, yep, we're going to get this as a gift to ourselves. And I was like, yep, you are. Like, that's it. Like you guys, it's the truth. It's the truth. So I love what you just said about like, I'm not trying to force sales on anyone. I literally am just like, let's have a conversation.
That's
I
it.
just want to know if this works for you.
I'm just inviting you into this
Yeah,
space. And that's what it is. And that's what I always
yeah,
talk about that in the mastermind. Sales is really just like, I'm just inviting you. Hey, I have
yeah,
this space, this service, this experience over here that could help you do X, Y, and Z. It sounds
yeah,
like what you're wanting because of this reason, that reason, that reason. I'm just inviting you. I'm letting you, I'm informing you and inviting you. Let me know if you want to be in. So, oh my goodness.
yeah,
And I just
yeah,
want to say for the record, like Kay is out here selling like 4-figure. Like we're not talking about like, oh, just buy this like low paint or whatever,
yeah.
So, keep that in mind if you're like 4-figure, 5-figure programs, all the things my clients and I sell. So it is just so beautiful. We could just keep talking about it. But here's what I want to ask. Did you have anything else you want to say? Sorry.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Um, if there is someone who's like, I'm on the fence, I don't believe I can have a mini messaging session, it's not enough time, or like, I don't know if messaging is the thing, I don't know if Kira is the thing, if they're on the fence, is there anything that you would say to them if they were watching this?
Yeah, I mean, I would say get off the fence and do it. But at a deeper level, I would say that first of all, Kira is going to deliver, so you don't have to worry about that. But then second of all, I'd really say like investing in yourself and in your product and your offers is a very worthy use of your money. So a lot of times people tell us we can or can't use our money for certain things, but look at this as an investment in yourself and your understanding. And it's not only going to impact you, it's going to impact all the clients you ever interact with after that. Like having that deeper messaging not only leads to an easier sales process or a more, you know, comfortable one, but it also deepens your client's experience of what you're providing too.
Yeah.
So it's just worth it. And
Which like,
it'll inform basically everything you do. And then after what you do in that mini session, like if you ever change your offer or look somewhere else, you still have the ability to apply it. So yeah, I would say it's definitely worth it and just do it.
yeah. And
Yeah.
lastly, I promise last thing, just forgot. I'm going to ask you this because of what you just said. If you change your offer. So, one of the things I love is that I work with women who are multi passionate, multi talented, so many amazing gifts. And so, you've actually started another extension of your business and of the beautiful work that you do. And I want to ask you, like, about that. Like, what other shifts came about for you? Because one thing I know is in the especially when it is a mini messaging session. I mean, listen, the reality is like, can we go as deep as intensives in the mastermind? No, but we're gonna go deep enough that you have something you can apply, I promise. Right. And that's what we're talking about today. But for you, I want you to kind of just briefly share what else it like awakened and activated for you because something else came about that you realized.
That's a good question. I think what I realized is that like my mission is just really about making people feel seen and empowered. And so that led me to be able to figure out where people are not feeling that way and then how we might, be able to jump in and get them feeling that way. So I'm still a little, finding my way through all of that, but just finding that is really powerful. And then I mean, I've just been able to apply what I learned through talking to you to really deepen like almost every single connection I have with anyone, honestly. But that like taking it to that next step of like, what is your impact? It's so much more powerful than what are the features, you
Yeah.
know?
Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that with us. And I know it's new, it put you on the spot a little bit, but I'm just going to by saying when you're in a space, at least in the way that I do messaging and see messaging and activating your power message, it will awaken other parts of things maybe you've been hiding, things maybe you've been holding back, stuff you wanted to do 5 or 10 years ago, but you did not give yourself permission to do. And so a lot of times I'm going deeper with clients on their core thing, and or sometimes we identify and discover, wow, here's another space that I've really wanted to go into, but I didn't give myself permission because there's a ton of messaging mindset stuff that is connected to selling and being visible. That's a whole nother story. But that's why I bring in messaging, mindset work, because messaging is a skill set and a mindset, right? It's both. And so it's so beautiful when we can work on both, because for a lot of women, they come up. So I just love that you were able to even just tap the door of like, Yeah, there are other things there. There is more that I want to say. And the fact that you're giving yourself permission to is still fresh, right? So still like dive into it and explore it and watch it expand is powerful. And you said something, you said um what you would say to someone else is, hey, you can actually use what you went through with Kiara and apply it to other stuff. And that's my thing, is like, yeah, we're going to do a session about this thing, but I have so many clients where it's like, oh, I see the process. And so now I see how I can go deeper into other areas. So it's literally an investment and a gift that like keeps paying for itself. Like you keep learning, you keep expanding, and you get to keep applying it in different ways. So I'm so grateful for you, Kay. I'm so proud of you for just giving yourself the permission and allowing yourself to make this no-brainer of a mini messaging session investment. And if anybody's watching and you have questions, you know, there is a button below. You can definitely DM me, excuse me. Time for me to eat lunch. So you can DM me and I'm happy to answer a question or two that you might have to make the decision for yourself. So thanks so much, Kay.
Thank you, Kara. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, love.